Well, it's 21 years since Anna, our youngest one, went off to university, and we ended up with an empty house.
And if I remember rightly, we responded to an invitation when we were in Rubina to go out to Uganda.
Yes.
And it's exactly 20 years this year since we took that first trip. And although Saltpeter Trust wasn't established then, it was following that first trip that Saltpeter Trust came into being. So 20 years, what particularly sticks out for you?
When we first went, it was the abject poverty. And I really couldn't believe how poor society was. I did wonder when I went, would I see anything near to what Jesus saw to walk this earth? And when I got there and walked into some places, I knew I'd seen what he saw. Total, utter poverty and deprivation.
And I know that there was something from that first visit that really stuck with you and has stuck with you ever since.
It was, yeah.
What was that?
Well, on the 4th of August 2000, a good friend now, Robert Adiba, had only met him half an hour before, just looked at me and said, Ian, you've got to help keep us alive.
Yeah.
How on earth do you respond to that?
Yeah.
And individually, you just can't do it.
No.
But with the Lord, you know you can contribute to making a difference.
Yeah. And it was where we were when that happened that was really startling, wasn't it? We were in a mud hut with a widow, a Tengi Veritas, and her, as she said, when she looked up in bed at night, she could see the stars because her thatch had got holes in it and, it just let the rain straight in. And she was so poor. And really, what stuck with me about that was the fact that less than a month previously, I had taken my class of 8-year-olds to St Fagan's Museum and been to the Celtic village, and we'd done all the things they do and said this is how they lived in the Bronze Age, etc., etc. And here we were less than a month later standing and looking at somebody who lived in worse conditions than those. It was an absolute stunning reality, and realisation. So, yes.
And for £15, we're able to rethatch 2 of the houses and leave with a bag of food.
Yeah.
And you suddenly realise you could make a difference.
Yeah.
It was stunning.
And actually, if we fast forward to today, what that led to, that's remarkable as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there was abject poverty. There were no cattle, and the Teso people keep their wealth through cattle. And there was just nothing. And fast forward this time now, we've been able to, with their ideas, create cooperatives. The women have been able to grow crops with help initially from here, and suddenly start supporting themselves. Year by year, we could see their clothing improve. We hear the children went to school, and then started sending them to college and university.
I know. I think some of the highlights of that period were actually going back a couple of years later and seeing the women in their lovely dresses. But the fact point about that was that it gave them their dignity back, which they just did not have. And then the next real celebration was when the first one of them graduated from university, which they would never have been able to dream that they could even send their children to university. And they've all got brick-built houses now with tin roofs. So no more straw roofs letting the rain in. So that's been something that's been really good to come out of it as well.
Formation of cooperatives so the women could work themselves out of poverty and learn to feed themselves, clothe themselves. Absolutely superb.
Yeah.
And then up in Soroti, the medical centre, we had an appeal in 2003. Could we help them with their mission to build a medical facility? And I'm not sure that we were very confident we could do it. Do you think that? It was quite a project that they had. £100,000.
And I remember Bishop Sam sitting in our lounge, dictating to Daniel what he wanted from this structure. And Daniel, budding architect as he was at that time, busy drawing it out on his pad and saying, is this what you want? Is this what you want? But yes, but to see it there.
It's remarkable.
Yes.
I mean, we went out to plan it with them, and the lady pilot said to us, what are you doing? We said, well, we want to build a medical centre. We've got no money.
Yeah.
And she just said, well, I've got a rich father. And then a pause. And then in heaven.
Yeah.
And how right she was, because 4 years after that, it opened.
It was there, yes, that's
taking
right.
doctors and medical staff out from here in Cardiff and begin to treat. And that then grew, because we've just gone back to the first trips really on medical treatment, haven't we?
That, yes, if you fast forward on that one, I feel as though this medical centre was a vision that the Soroti Baptist Church had for the land and the church that they've got there. And I feel as though, if you like, through us, God gave them their gift. Yes. And now it is being used for what God intended. And those pop-up clinics that we went out and did this year, I feel as though we've almost done full circle. And, you know, we really have gone out into the villages where you really do see poverty, and the work that the medics have been able to do there, it's just been like a fulfilment of what we set out to do in the first place. Yeah.
And through it's seen over 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And teaching our British medics that in Uganda, they talk to all their patients and show them the love. And our medics are just bowled over by the way that they offer automatic counselling to anyone suffering.
And prayer. They go for prayer before they go to be treated. Superb. Yes.
And then finally food, because we're talking now about trying to feed soul and body, aren't we?
Yes.
So feeding body, we're trying to get them to use a farming method called Farming God's Way. Yeah. And we just started some trials up in Soroti. And we've seen a bit of that on the church video we saw in the service a few days ago. Yeah. And then in terms of feeding the soul, we've been able to send some funds.
Yes. Yes, over the period we've done Bible conferences and marriage courses, Christian marriage courses. But the latest initiative is very exciting too, where they've got all the materials and they're studying the CBS Bible studies the same as us. So that is really, really exciting, because to be able to feed body and feed soul has always been our aim, and to be able to do it is absolutely great.
So they're just starting the Philippians course, and we've been able to provide them with Bibles, which they're desperately in need of.
Yeah.
So we're now following the same route with them, and they seem to be drawing ever closer. So we're immensely grateful. We've just had tremendous support from everybody financially and in prayer, and for that we're just so grateful.
And I think through it all, I mean, we would just say that sometimes we've inched our way forward, but, you know, without God's hand in it, we wouldn't be here now, would we?
Well, true religion is this, it's to care for
widows and orphans, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world.
And that's our motto.
Anyway, thank you for partnering with us. It's been great.
And without you, we could never have done it.
No.
So thank you.
Thank you.